Welcome to the Deep Dive. So our mission today is to sprint through what has been just wildly tumultuous period in modern U.S.
It
history.
really has.
We're
Yeah.
looking at the 34 years from that, unipolar dawn of 1991, right up to the profound state restructuring we're seeing in late 2025.
It's a journey from the end of history to, well, the end of consensus, really. We started with this idea of liberal internationalism, the internet, economic growth.
Right.
But the thing that really defines this era is how quickly events like 9/11 and the 2008 financial crisis just accelerated this deep national fracture.
Okay, let's dive into the source material on that critical pivot point, the 2024 election. I mean, one thing that jumped out was just the raw political map. Donald Trump gets 312 electoral votes, and he secures the first Republican popular vote majority since 2004 at 49.8%. But the numbers that truly define the moment are demographic.
Oh, absolutely. That's the key insight right there. The victory wasn't just about turnout. It was a fundamental coalition shift. Our sources highlight that Trump secured, an astonishing 48% of the Latino vote, 15% of the Black vote.
It's a huge shift.
It is. It validates this permanent move toward a nationalist, populist coalition, one that, crosses traditional racial lines. This is more than just an election result. It's a complete restructuring of the political map.
And that new coalition was served almost immediately in 2025 with this radical economic overhaul. Let's start with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act from July.
Right. And this bill, it did two things at once. It completely overhauled the tax code, and it was a total repudiation of the prior administration's agenda.
So the philosophy changed.
Completely. The focus shifted from, say, broad corporate tax cuts to these really targeted incentives for individuals. The bill introduced tax-free overtime.
Which is a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. It lets employees earn up to $12,500 a year without federal tax, a direct appeal to hourly workers. And then they added that $6,000 standard deduction for taxpayers over 65.
And the other side of that coin was the immediate repeal of the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, and all those green energy subsidies.
A very clear break from climate-focused policy, and that break was, reinforced by the escalating trade war. By mid-2025, the tariffs on Chinese imports had hit an effective rate of 145%.
145%.
Yeah. If you connect the dots, those tariffs created a massive supply shock. Our sources suggest this one policy contributed about half a percentage point to annualized inflation.
Wow. Okay, so that sounds like a massive self-inflicted wound. If the whole goal is nationalist populism, how does the administration justify hurting the very people it's supposed to be protecting with higher prices?
Well, that's the risk of this America First sovereigntism, that combination of rising costs and flat growth. That's the specter of stagflation. The administration's argument is that, short-term pain is necessary for long-term technological and supply chain independence.
And that word independence, that takes us right into technology, doesn't it? In November 2025, we got the Genesis mission.
The AI Manhattan Project. Exactly.
What's really crucial about Genesis is how it centralizes everything. All federal data, all the supercomputing under the Department of Energy. It explicitly links AI to fusion, nuclear power, and defense materials.
So it's a realignment of the military-industrial complex for the modern age.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's all about securing technological sovereignty. And this focus is mirrored by a dramatic global retreat.
Right, the withdrawal from the UN Human Rights Council and UNESCO. And, maybe most critically, ending all funding to UNRWA.
And that retreat culminates in that highly controversial Ukraine peace plan from November. It requires Kyiv to cede de facto control of Crimea and the Donbass and, accept a permanent bar from NATO, which, as our sources note, completely fractured the Western alliance.
It did.
So how has the American public reacted to all this? Because the response was immediate and, massive civil resistance, the No Kings movement.
Massive is an understatement. The numbers are staggering. We're talking about 7 million people in the October wave of protests. You even had unprecedented support from career civil servants.
But this is where the narrative turns really somber. The sources point to a grim marker of political violence.
Yeah. The assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in September 2025. A sniper while he was speaking at Utah Valley University.
It's just a stark sign that the American social contract is being tested by actual violence.
It's a dark convergence. The whole journey from 1991 has led us here to a fractured superpower with two totally competing visions. liberal internationalist versus nationalist populist. And the 2025 changes are literally transforming the machinery of the state itself.
So when you put it all together, what does this actually mean for you, the listener? Well, the nation has these incredible strengths in tech and energy, but it faces these existential internal threats, the normalization of political violence, the erosion of a shared social contract, and the unresolved question is whether the country can reconcile these contradictions or if this moment leads to a permanent existential fragmentation, something to mull over.